I'd like to start out by saying you lied to me about this anime.
I did not lie to you.
And you said, "Oh, but this one is good."
It is
That was
good.
a freaking lie.
No, it's not. Hello and welcome back to the Nerdiest podcast, the show where nerds talk about nerdy things. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Nick Barrett, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my ride or die, Mr. Jackson Glass. And today, we are going to be continuing Jackson's anime adventure. Now, this is the series where me, a super weeb, if you can't tell by the anime shirt and like all the anime stuff behind me, I love anime. And Jackson doesn't love anime.
Doesn't.
So I'm trying to get him into it. And we started off Anime Adventure this year by made him watch Sword Art Online, which you can go back and listen to that episode because we had some thoughts.
What an episode.
So I thought, okay, we have our last Anime Adventure of the year. I know. Sad.
I'm so sad.
Truly painful.
I'm
Don't worry.
crying.
We're going to be back with more next year. And actually, at the end of this episode, Jackson, we're going to do this a little different for picking the next episode or the next Anime Adventure.
Okay.
So you're going to want to stick around for that.
Okay.
So, but today, I figured, we started with Sword Art Online. That went pretty okay. So let's end with Sword Art Online because today we're going to be covering Sword Art Online, the movie, or what is it? Sword Art Online Progressive, the movie Aria of a Starless Night, which is the first progressive movie. I've talked about how great it is. I think it's a great movie. Jackson hasn't told me anything about it.
I haven't said anything.
A little worried.
I'm so excited.
Because he hasn't put up his Letterboxd review.
Nope.
He hasn't I don't know anything, and he said stuff that makes me feel like I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
This is going to be the best episode of the year. I'm so excited.
We will see how this episode goes.
But
before we jump into Sword Art Online, Jackson, we're at the end of Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
It's been a week.
Mm-hmm.
How have you been? Have you gotten some good rest? Played some Fortnite?
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
So, like you said, this week. Well, first of all, thank you, Nick. Happy to be here. This has been Thanksgiving break for me, and it has been such a good week. And I'm so happy that I got to rest, and we've gotten to play a lot of Fortnite. Got to hang out. Got to play Fortnite OG, which thank God it's ending because I'm so done with it.
Can't wait to go back to Fortnite GO instead of OG.
There's a lot of memes about this right now, but Fortnite OG was fun for 2-3 weeks, and now we're all kind of like, okay, that's enough, thank you. So, played a lot of Fortnite, played a lot of Minecraft recently, done a lot of editing. I made a list this week of just random tasks that I needed to get done, and so far I've gotten I only have 2 more, and I have until Monday to finish, and today's Saturday. So I think I can do it. But man, it's just been a super chill week. I've watched a couple movies. I went and saw Wish, we did a review on that on our last episode. It's a bonus. You can go listen to that. I saw Wish. I watched The Family Stone for the first time. That's a Christmas movie from the early 2000s that I don't think it's hit mainstream Christmas movie yet. It's not up there with Elf or anything, but I highly recommend it. I thought it was really good. Man, I haven't been doing anything. I've just been hanging out. EP released, if you didn't know, Freshman Year Part 2. If you go search Jackson Glass, GLAS on Spotify, Freshman Year Part 2 is out. So I'm kind of taking a rest after working really hard on releasing that EP. So doing that, just knocking some YouTube stuff out and planning stuff for next year. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's been a really, really good week to just get the odds and ends done. Because I feel like what I do is I build up these random tasks. It's backup computer, write this thing down, watch this. And it's just kind of random list of activities to build up. And then I have entire days or weeks where I'm this is my random activity week. We're doing random activities. We're doing Christmas presents. We're getting all the Christmas presents done, this and that. I went and got some stuff on Black Friday. but it's all gifts, so I'm not going to talk about it just in case someone hears. So, needless to say, good stuff. Thanksgiving's over. It's officially like full Christmas season. Now, I've been doing...
Nobody can get mad about Christmas
That's what
music
I'm
or
saying.
decorations anymore. It's over. Your time
over.
of complaining
It's
is
over.
done.
And I'm so glad, like, because I start Christmas on November 1st, as a lot of people do and a lot of people don't. But I feel like we're all in unity now. We're all in agreement. We're like, okay, now it's Christmas time. And I'm really glad that everyone is in agreement with that. So I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I'm really excited for the rest of the stuff we have planned this year for this podcast. There's some really good episodes coming up.
We only have
Wow.
3 more episodes.
Three more episodes.
3 more episodes for season 5.
Season 5. Man.
And we're at it. Well, 5 if you want to count the 2 after show episodes we have.
Right.
Which you can do. You can listen to those after show
Yeah.
episodes by following on
Yeah.
Spotify or on Patreon.
Yeah. If you
By the
do
end of the year, you'll have access to 5 episodes for $3.
That's
Just
what I'm saying.
Pretty
That's what I'm
sick
saying.
deal.
As time goes on, the Spotify subscription will just become more valuable. For a very minimal $3 a month, you could have our monthly after show and even more incredible content coming very soon next year. Cannot wait to announce all of that. But
That is literally 60 cents per episode.
that's what
Just
I'm
saying.
saying. That's what I'm
Just
saying.
saying.
It's not that
and
bad.
and that number only going to go down
It's only going to go down.
as we
It's
keep
only
doing
going to go down. That's what I'm
Just
saying. So, anyway, been super chill. Haven't really done a whole lot, but that's the point. I've gotten a lot of sleep caught up. I'm still overcoming like some congestion. You might be able to hear it in my voice. So if I like randomly dip out to cough, that's my bad. I'm very sorry. But overall, it's been a really great week. You, sir, how was your week? Did you have a great Thanksgiving, good Black Friday hauls and all?
Well, much like the rest of America, I had to work because I'm not in school, so I don't get like a week Thanksgiving break. But I will say, my work was kind enough to give us Thursday and Friday off, and we actually got to leave really early on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that was nice. I've tried to make it very restful.
Yeah.
But I also ended up spending most of that free time of like, oh, I have free time that's not work related, so I'm going to use this to catch up on podcast editing. So I've been doing a lot of editing and stuff behind the scenes just to make sure videos go out on time, because I know the closer we get to the end of the year, the busier it's going to be. I also have, literally, it's coming today, my new Mac Studio.
I'm so excited.
So
I'm so excited.
I'm really trying to get ahead on my editing so I can take a weekend to fully set that up, because that looks like taking everything off of my desk, unplugging everything, like a complete, because usually when I clean my desk, like, oh, I'll unplug everything and like move some stuff and vacuum, but this is like, nah. Everything's
Everything
coming out.
must go.
Desk is getting pulled out from the wall. Like, we got to do cable management. It's gonna be a whole day, and it's gonna be a thing.
I can't wait.
But I can't do that till all the podcast work is done, because we're weekly till the end of the year. So it's not like I have a weekend off.
Yeah.
So trying to get ahead so I can set all that up.
The temptation
Other
for me
than
to
that-
like drive down there and set it up with you is so strong. Like,
Listen,
I want to
if
be
I
there.
pick a day, you should do it. Like, you should come for
I
the
just feel
weekend.
like I don't know why I'm like more excited about your new computer than you are, like because it's so beneficial for the podcast as a whole for you to have a really nice computer. And I'm like, thank God, it's gonna be so great.
It was great. I'm so glad I was able to save up and actually could afford this computer. So aside from all that, though, it has been a pretty relaxing week. Like, I went and saw Wish. We did our episode. Thanksgiving, I spent the first half of the day editing, and then the rest of the day was just eating food and hanging out with the family. And then I did go Black Friday shopping, and I posted about it on Twitter. And if you want to see all of it, you can go check out my Twitter. I have some of it because I did buy a lot of manga, but I've already put it on the shelves, and I didn't feel like tearing apart my shelves just to show it. So I'll start out. I went to Target and Books A Million and technically Walmart. So at Target, they had on sale the Star-Lord Lego helmet, which
Iconic.
I'm really looking forward to putting this in my office at work because it doubles. I don't know if they They don't have the picture on the box, but it doubles like the headspace is open, so it doubles as like a pencil holder.
That's great.
So now I have something to hold all my pens and markers and stuff in. Also at Target, I got Across the Spider-Verse on Blu-ray, and I got Puss in Boots: The Last Wish on Blu-ray because they were doing buy two get the third free on books, movies, and music. So I did get a manhwa, but it's already on the shelf. And then at Books A Million, obviously got a bunch of manga. I also got this 332nd, I lied, Company Trooper from the Clone Wars. This is Ahsoka's clones. So I was like, well, big Ahsoka fan, gotta have that.
That's lit.
And then I went to Walmart, and I saw they had this sick Cad Bane Funko Pop. So
That's
all
lit.
of that,
Good times.
plus the manga, came out to about $150, which, honestly speaking, is less than I thought I was going to spend.
How much in savings would you think of that stuff, though?
What do you mean?
Because like 150 sounds like a lot, but how much would it have been not on sale?
I saved like $56 at Target, and then I saved not as much at Books A Million. Because at Books A Million, the Funkos were buy one, get one 50% off, but it was this one, which was $15, and then they had a Demon Slayer one I wanted to get, but it was $25. And I was like, what? $25 is a lot
much
for like a singular Funko Pop, not like one of the big ones or a diorama. Like, no. So they didn't have any other ones I wanted, so I just got the one and called it a day. So
I went
that
to
was
Books
my
A Million.
Black Friday shopping.
Nice. I went to Books A Million, and it was okay. The like, they also did a buy two get one, or it was like buy three get the fourth free. And I was just like,
that was the manga deal I got.
I was like, bro, 4 is a lot. Like, if it was like buy one,
the fourth
get
one is free, so it's only 3.
It's like, yeah, but I don't need to buy 3 of anything. And so
here's
it's
the
like,
thing, though. Notice how they don't do that for normal books. They do like buy one get one 50 on normal books, but on manga, when you're going in, like, I almost bought 4 volumes of My Hero yesterday because I could have gotten 3. And then the 4th one was free because I have like 2 big gaps in my collection, and I'm like, I'm trying to fill those when they go on sale.
That makes sense because it's also more of a collector's thing.
Yeah,
but it's also manga stuff like that. You can really shred through a manga if you want. Where like,
and
you know, you're not gonna buy like 4 like, I don't know, cookbooks or something like that. I mean. You could.
I see what you're saying though. It's the target audience of buying that. They're going to buy more, especially when it's on sale. Like, I've watched people go in and walk out. Like, I usually sometimes, if it's like buy 2 get the third, I'll go in. I'll come out with a stack this big, of just manga. I'll spend like $150 on it because it's on sale. Yeah, I've seen people go in with like 2 armfuls,
and that's
like
crazy.
They bought
to me.
the entirety of One Piece.
That's
so
it was
on
foreign,
sale. And I'm like, what?
That's really foreign to me because I don't think I would do that. Then again, I also understand in a way because in high school I was really obsessed with collecting every Calvin and Hobbes collection. And so any bookstore or any Barnes & Noble, any used bookstore, any Goodwill or anything, I would scrub those shelves for any Calvin and Hobbes comic collection I could find. And now I have at least one of every collection they made and the full collection, like it's like compiled of all of them. So on a level, I understand. I get it.
You understand.
I get it.
You're familiar with the culture.
I understand. I went to Old Navy to look at some of the stuff because I heard that like the whole store is 50% off, and like some of the stuff was cool, but nothing in there could have captured my attention enough to justify standing in the line, because the line would have taken me at least 30 or 45 minutes to get to check out. And so I'm just like, you know, I don't even have the money to buy anything in here. I'm okay. Like, this is fine. So that's that about that. If we want to move into some news, there was some good news. Some
Are we talking about
news.
do you want to talk about le-based Christopher Nolan?
Le-based Christopher Nolan?
Le-based Christopher Nolan, who's finally somebody big in the industry is saying what we've been saying for months.
That's what I'm saying. This is why film bros love Christopher Nolan. If you'd like to break that down for me, let me hear it.
Okay, so Christopher Nolan had previously said, because he was talking about Oppenheimer, he was like, we really want to work on a good version of Oppenheimer, like the Blu-ray physical release that you can enjoy, because we want you to enjoy it, because then no one can take it away from you.
Right.
And based off of that, I was like, okay, I'd buy the Oppenheimer Blu-ray just because you said that. Like, I get it. I like that you said that. As a physical media collector, I get it. So then this week, Christopher Nolan continues to be based. Here's what he had to say. If you buy a 4K Ultra HD, it's on your shelf. It's yours. No company is going to break in your house and take it from you. That's never really the case with digital distribution. You're relying on the continued health of the supplier, which, amen, finally, someone said it.
What a good way to say that, too. The continued health of the supplier.
Yeah,
that's so based.
we talked about this a little bit when Disney had their snafu, and they were like, we're canceling all DVDs forever.
Yeah.
We're never making movies again.
I did a YouTube video about it.
And then everyone was like, okay, but what about like all these Disney Plus shows that are now stuck on Disney Plus and reliant on Disney Plus being an active, healthy subscription to watch all of this content? Which then, of course, they were like, well, here, take some 4K steelbooks and shut up.
Yeah.
Which we may never see any more steelbooks ever again. But the point being, in the all-digital age, there's really no guarantee. Like, what I like about stuff like this, like Puss in Boots, where it's Blu-ray, DVD, and digital code, I think this is the perfect system because you have the physical DVD if you want to plug that into your Xbox or your Blu-ray player or whatever. But if you don't really, like, I get it. With digital, it's so much easier to just flip through and you don't have to get up and move the DVD. I get it. It is very convenient. So the perfect system would be like having your Blu-ray so no one can take it away from you. But that doesn't mean you slide the Blu-ray in the DVD player every single time you want to watch it.
Right.
I like having the digital code because there are some movies that I watch at work or when I'm not at home and don't have access to that Blu-ray, but I'm like, I really want to watch this movie. Now I have it on my phone.
Right.
And it's like, it's the happy medium of having both. You should never be fully digital because then who's to say Amazon Prime says, well, you haven't paid your subscription, so we're just going to yoink all your digital DVDs away, and you can't do anything about that. Yeah. But if they want to take this copy of Puss in Boots, they got to come break down my door and fight me for it.
They can pry
and
this
I'm
copy of Puss in Boots
for that.
From my cold, dead hands.
Fight me.
Fight
Come on,
me.
DreamWorks.
Fight me.
You want to go?
Yeah, I feel like...
I don't think you do.
I don't know. Christopher Nolan continues to impress me. Like, he's not only a good director, but he's a good guy. And I'm here for this pro physical media narrative from directors. Like, the creators of these movies need to, like, take a stand and say, we want this physical media, because otherwise they're just, like, this submissive, like, I don't know, I guess you could do a dual release on Peacock, and it's like, well, that's not helpful. Like, we're trying to, like, change the narrative. Like, this, maybe it's successful, but it's not super helpful. So, like, I don't know. You gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. So
yeah.
But
we
in
love Christopher Nolan.
Other good news is that
is this good news? I'm on the fence about it.
The
being
top.
good
Are you talking
news.
about the top one or the bottom one?
I'm talking about both.
Oh, okay. So the
Both
top
are
one.
pretty okay.
The one that I think is good news. I think it said Dave Filoni is now the chief creative officer of Lucasfilm, and which means that he will oversee every Star Wars project moving forward with Kathleen Kennedy. So Kathleen Kennedy is not out, but now Dave Filoni is there to, I guess, be quality control. I don't know. I feel like he's kind of been doing this for a while anyway. They're just kind of now giving him the official position. So I think this is a good move for Star Wars. but I'm also not going to say Star Wars is so back, guys. We're so back. Because it's like, maybe we're not. I don't know. Because Dave Filoni has done things that are 10 million times better than what Disney has been doing. But he doesn't have a perfect track record. So I don't know. How do you feel about this? You're a little more invested on the Star Wars side than I am. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I'm a little more invested, especially on the Dave Filoni side, because he's done like Rebels, The Mandalorian, and obviously, most importantly, The Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars?
And those have all been really good. And I do think this is a good step in the right direction. If Star Wars wants any chance of turning around from the kind of mediocre state they're in right now, having someone like Dave Filoni as the creative lead is a phenomenal move, and I'm all here for it. My only concern is that Kathleen Kennedy is still going to have too much influence.
Yeah.
Because they really just will not let her go. Like I don't see any reason as an outsider why they wouldn't just say, "Hey Kathleen, you can retire. We'll put Dave in this position.
Right.
He's been here for a while. He knows the ins and outs. He worked with George Lucas. Like he's got it going on."
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't want to let her go.
Even though no
really
one likes
curious.
her.
Yeah, no one likes her. She's ruined every single project she's ever worked on.
Yeah.
And they just cannot let her go. So
And for why? It's gotten to the point where I think it was either Family Guy or South Park did a whole bit about how she ruins
my gosh,
everything.
that was so funny.
And I was like, this is so true. If you have Family Guy making fun of you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Guys, this is general knowledge that no one likes her. Why can't we just put Jon Favreau where Dave Filoni is now and put Dave Filoni where Kathleen Kennedy is now? Just let them do it together. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I want it to be good. I really do. I don't know. I'm just so skeptical about it. And that's all I have to say. I'm skeptical. I'm hopeful that it'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
But then
we
I'm
also just
like,
don't have... Oh, go ahead.
Dave Filoni just started working on the outline for Ahsoka Season 2, and I'm like, you should have had that done a long time ago.
Yeah.
Which also tells me that maybe Ahsoka Season 2 isn't necessary for whatever, like, this big Mando crossover movie is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of shifting around. I don't know. I know Taika Waititi's next up in the Star Wars pipeline. He needs to stop talking.
He said some stuff that I haven't liked these last few weeks. So, we'll see what happens. We also have no reference of what is coming soon, except for Rogue Squadron, which I didn't know existed until I saw.
I thought that got delayed.
I
thought it got canceled. Actually,
did. I thought it got canceled, but I kept seeing posters for it at the movie theater. And I was like, did they just not get the memo? Like this week when I went and saw Wish, I saw a poster for Rogue Squadron.
No way.
Yes, I did. Look this up. And apparently, I heard someone else say that they saw a trailer.
There's no way. I would have seen this.
Star Wars.
Spelled Rogue wrong. Shocker.
Dang. Rouge.
Is this movie still happening?
Movie. Initial release date. That's not helpful. Cast.
It says it arrives in theaters Christmas 2023. That's
first
a lie. We would have known about it.
The first result is a clickbait YouTube video with Chris Pine edited in an X-Wing suit, like really poorly, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
So
it says cast as Gal Gadot. Get out of here. Directed by Patty
So here's
Jenkins.
what it says: on November 8th. 2021, Rogue Squadron was removed from Walt Disney Studios' production calendar indefinitely. In May 2022, Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that Rogue Squadron had been pushed off to the side, by September 2022, Rogue Squadron was removed from Disney's production calendar altogether.
Okay.
And then in December 2022, Patty Jenkins released a public statement regarding her projects. In her statement, she clarified that she originally left the film after a long and productive development process which threatened to delay her next project.
What?
So...
Wasn't Patty Jenkins the one that got fired from Wonder Woman?
I don't think she got fired. I thought she just wasn't doing it.
I thought...
So
I'm pretty sure...
It sounds like it's up in limbo right now.
Because she did the Wonder Woman and then the second Wonder Woman... And then the second one was so bad that DC was like, you're done, and they kicked her off. I don't know. Star Wars. Continuing into Star Wars, Daisy Ridley has recently talked about a Rey movie.
Yeah, that's the next one. See, here's the thing. I saw a tweet about this yesterday. Is one of the biggest movie franchises has now been relegated to television.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't gotten a new Star Wars movie in 4 years. Like, there's been no way to go to a theater and see a Star Wars movie. You could go watch one episode of Ahsoka in select theaters, and that's it.
Yeah.
And because the original tweet was someone saying, like, they're releasing 5 Star Wars shows next year on Disney+. And that was where someone was like, oh, it's really sad that this great movie franchise is now being relegated to all TV shows, which is kind of the direction Marvel is going in, is like having these TV shows. And don't get me wrong, TV shows are great. You should have TV shows. But it's really weird that we've gone this long without a Star Wars movie, especially after having 7, 8, and 9 every other year. Like,
it's like, did we forget why we're here? Like,
Star Wars is about movies. I want to go see a Star Wars movie in the theater.
I want to go see it in the theater. And I don't know. It just feels kind of like, it feels disrespectful to Star Wars to be like, I don't know. I remember years ago when Disney Plus came out and everyone was like, this is going to be the worst move Disney has ever done. And I was like, there's no way. And now I'm looking back like, oh crap. Like, did Disney Plus kill Star Wars? I feel like the need...
That's a whole episode right there.
The need to, like, buff Disney Plus with content has ruined, like, 3 different franchises entirely. And it's just kind of like, shoot, dude.
Because they're the only franchises that could get people to subscribe.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we need the content.
Yeah.
And then it became more about quality or quantity over quality.
Yeah.
Which I know is something Bob Iger said when he took over as CEO again. He was like, don't worry, guys, we're focusing on quality over quantity. And I'm like, thanks, Bob. That's not true.
That's not true. But
thank you for
you're
lying
full of crap,
directly to my face. That's not true.
Anywho, yeah.
So,
I don't know
Daisy
anything about
Ridley,
the Rey movie, you know?
She just said, I know the storyline for one film. That's not to say that's all it is, but that's what I was told about. And I imagine it will be the next film, I think. I mean, again, I don't know, post-strikes and everything, how quickly everything will start up again. But yes, so far, I know the story of one film, and I think people will be very excited. That is so vague.
It's not true. No.
That is so vague.
Yeah.
I'm like, so how much did Disney slide in the bank account to be like, hey,
pretend there's a Rey movie.
Pretend there's a Rey movie. Pretend we've written it and pretend like it's happening. I don't say that
like
to
it's
disparage
good.
Daisy Ridley. I like Daisy Ridley. I think she's an incredible actress. She's done great work. She did great work in the Star Wars movies. She just got saddled with a bad script.
handed a bad script. She did really good with what she was given. We have no hate on her at all. I don't think this is a good move. I don't think this is a good move for Star Wars. I feel like here's the thing. We can't just go with correction at this. We can't course correct. You need to like cut off and say, hey, we did that
or embrace it.
Right. It's like they're like, we did the sequels and they weren't good. We're sorry. We're completely pivoting. Like, pivot, please. We're like, we don't need to course correct the sequels. They were bad. Leave them there. I need you to pivot. Like, we're done with that. We're done. We don't want to see that anymore. Pivot. I think it has potential. I think you could do a Rey movie that did her character a lot more justice, but it also feels a lot of like, it feels like the entire point of a Rey movie is to right the wrongs of the other 3 movies, and I don't like that. I don't like making a movie to correct your mistakes. Then again, one of my personal favorite Star Wars movies was the most expensive plot hole fix ever, called Rogue One. So,
whoa,
who's
that's
to
not
say?
a plot hole fix. It was, I wouldn't. Okay, hold on. Whoa, that's a massive mischaracterization of Rogue One entirely. It's not a plot hole because in the opening crawl of A New Hope, it says rebel spies died to get us this information. And then it picks up with Leia transporting the information. It was never a plot hole.
Yeah, but
the whole Disney
point
wanted
was
to make a movie.
The whole
about,
point
like,
was to explain why there was a weak spot in the Death Star. They were like, well, why is there a weak spot in the Death Star? And they were like, well, let's make Rogue One so that we can explain why there's a weak spot in the Death Star and show the
Not
beginning
to mention
of this.
the Empire built another Death Star.
Right.
Which is so funny because everyone's like, why would the Empire build a second Death Star? And I'm like, I hope you know that I'm pretty sure they were building them simultaneously.
Yeah.
And they started one, and one was like really close to being done, and then it was done, and they were like halfway on this other one, so that they could have multiple. This was not like the first one got blown up. Let's do it again.
Let's do it again
with the same problem.
Yeah.
Like, no, they were being built simultaneously. It's just one was a lot.
It's so funny.
A lot less. Far
One was a
along.
lot bigger. Well,
Yeah, and then
that being
and then
said,
during the time of that,
you know, it's kind of
they were building Starkiller Base because they had to be.
Of course, because it was convenient.
Because it was convenient.
I don't know.
Star Wars is dumb. Anyway, I love
say
Star
that
Wars.
saying I love Rogue One. I really do. It's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I just, you know, I'm here to have a conversation about it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just bringing that up. That's all I gotta say. Okay. Anything else before we transition into this movie? Well,
I'm
there is
so scared. I just want to
actually-
get it over with. I'm just so scared.
There is actually one more thing we do need to talk about before this. Is if you want to be like Christopher Nolan and you want to be based and super cool, you can support independent creators and their independent projects. Well, Jackson, how do I do that? Well, I'm so glad
how do I do that,
you
Jackson? Tell
asked.
me.
I'm so glad you asked. You can do it with the sponsor of today's episode, Lure.tv. That's LOOR.tv. Now, Lure is a fundraising platform more than a streaming platform, but they are currently building their streaming platform one subscriber at a time. Now, Lure is a streaming platform that allows monthly subscribers to spend their monthly subscription funding movies and TV shows that they want to see. So, you can fund the shows that you want to see rather than letting Netflix spend your subscription on whatever the heck they want. Probably another Hallmark movie or some other teen drama that you don't care about. That's all I'm saying. So, you can fund shows through Loot, which is an in-service currency, kind of like a game, which gets refreshed every Tuesday. And you can use that currency to fund the shows that you want to see. Now, you can also buy extra loot for an additional fee to throw at your favorite shows if you really want to see them flourish, and you can see them get made, and then you can watch the shows and you can feel like you had a part in funding the show. Now, Lure has already raised over $80,000 for independent filmmakers. Isn't that crazy? So,
That's insane.
you can go to Lure, LOOR.tv, and use code NERDPOD. That's NERDPOD, and you can also help us. We are also independent creators that you get to help, while you get to help us, while you help even other independent creators. It's a win for everybody. You get to watch quality content all day long on Lure.tv, building a platform one subscriber at a time. So fund the projects that Holly wouldn't at Lure.tv with code NERDPOD. All right.
I can't wait to look back in like 30 episodes and see how much our sponsor script has evolved.
No, right.
Because I feel like every time we do it, we get a little better.
We get a little better.
That first one was rough.
I'm still looking up at the bullet points.
Yeah, eventually one day
like,
you'll just have it memorized and you won't need to look over.
I will probably wake up in a cold sweat one day and be like, Lure.tv, subscribe on fun fact, before we get into our main topic, I had a dream last night that there was a squad attacking my house.
Like a Fortnite?
Like a Fortnite squad was attacking my house, and I killed them all with a blue pump shotgun.
Okay, so you want to hear
It
something
was
funny?
awful. Okay, what?
We went out last night and did. So our town has this like.
Oh, did you do ice?
No, we didn't do
Oh.
ice yet.
That's
We
so
are gonna
sad.
do ice soon.
Sorry,
But
continue. I got excited.
We went. Our town has like like a fairgrounds area that has
Mhm.
all of these roads, and they set up a bunch of Christmas lights, so you can like drive
Oh,
through
yeah.
and look at the lights.
This stuff is
But
so
they
fun.
have a specific radio station you turn to, and like a
Dude, yes.
soundtrack that goes with it.
Yeah.
So one, it was really cool. All the
Yeah.
lights were like coded to the music. The music was really bopping. My favorite part though was they had a screen, and on this screen was an animation of Santa, but he was doing different Fortnite dances. Like
Oh my
they took
gosh.
Santa and put it on the model of a Fortnite skin and had him do it. Like he did the Orange Justice, the best friends one, and then he hit the default dance, and I was like, that
That's
is
iconic.
what I needed to see.
That's
was
iconic.
Santa doing the default dance.
That's iconic.
So
Oh,
it was pretty
wow.
fire.
Okay.
Speaking of things that are fire,
So,
Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online. I have a question before we start.
okay.
Where does this movie sit? Because I've seen
What do
the
you mean?
first season, but the movie was a repeat of some of the first season.
Oh, I didn't explain that to you.
Is the movie supposed to go in conjunction with the show, or is it supposed to replace part of the show?
I forgot I didn't explain this.
You
to
did not explain any of this.
I really
went
hope
in
this didn't
so blind.
affect your enjoyment. So, Sword Art Online Progressive is just a hard reboot.
Oh,
Like the author went back because it's based on the manga, except
right.
the movies kind of aren't, because
Okay.
Mito is a completely original character.
Right.
And then apparently between the first and the second movie, they skipped a major arc
okay.
in the manga. So I don't know about any of that. But it is the author's attempt to go back and actually make Sword Art Online about Sword Art Online, and not about Sword Art Online for about 12 episodes and then anything else that's not Sword Art Online related. So it's a hard reboot. That's
Okay.
why it repeats, because they're going back to the beginning
Okay.
and just really fleshing everything out and making it better.
So does the next movie continue where the first one left off?
Yes.
How many movies are there?
Two.
Two.
Including the one we just watched.
So
Which I researched this last night because I was really interested. It's weird to me that they haven't announced another SAO project, because this is the longest, at least to my knowledge, we've gone without any form of like
right.
knowing that there's something in development.
Does the second
and
one
SAOs
wrap
are
up?
pretty Nope.
Oh, so they
It
need
ends on,
another
like-
one.
Yeah, like this is just like an ongoing thing.
Okay.
So I did a search and I found a Reddit thread, which take with a grain of salt because it's Reddit.
Right.
They were like, yeah, they're not going to do another progressive movie. They're doing another movie,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not doing another progressive movie because the manga's not done yet, or the author's not far enough ahead for them to do anything.
That's weird.
So they're going to do an original story, which I would assume would be based off of the anime, not the new movies. So we'd be going back
Okay.
to the anime continuity instead of going off of the movie continuity.
Why?
I don't know.
This is so complicated.
It's needlessly complicated. I just want SAO to be good, okay? That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
So I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, let me go first.
I need to
Okay.
hear a little bit. I need to hear a little bit of you before I go.
You're gonna
off.
let me down so hard right now.
I need you
Okay.
to. I just want to hear what you have to say. I could be duping you entirely. You have no idea.
I feel like you are duping me, because every time you've done this, you've duped me. You've been like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything about how I feel about Haunted Mansion. Just to put you in suspense. And then we sit down and you're like, I really liked
It was
Haunted
really
Mansion.
good.
It was really good. So I refuse to buy into the bait. So I really like SAO progressive. It's Sword Art Online, but good. Like, it's actually enjoyable. It gets rid of a lot of the weird, like, fan servicey stuff that didn't need to be there. The pacing feels like it's very much fleshed out. And honestly, it feels more... Because one of our big complaints with SAO was that it felt like there was no reason for it to be a video game as opposed to just a fantasy anime. Whereas this feels like, oh, this is a video game. And they're stuck in this video game. Like, it really leaned into that part of it more. I like that Asuna has a friend and isn't just a loner and then meets Kirito and is like, oh, we should get married and have a kid and, like, spend our lives in this world together. And it's like, okay, thank you. She actually... And she's also, like, not perfect because in the anime, she's, like, perfect 1 second and then helpless damsel in distress and then perfect the next second and, like, this back and forth. Whereas here, she's just, like, this really smart kid...
Right.
Who has absolutely no knowledge of video games whatsoever. And it really comes through. I don't know. It's SAO. It's good. I remember watching it in IMAX. Oh my gosh. If I ever would want to see a movie in IMAX again, it's this one. Not Oppenheimer, not Barbie, not Top Gun. No, Sword Art Online progressive. IMAX. Because the sound effects, oh my gosh. That opening scene, I was listening to it on my soundbar and I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's right. This movie has some really good sound design and some really killer music.
The music is phenomenal. I really love the music. So my turn.
All right, your turn. This is Jackson's anime adventure.
Can I? So context. Earlier this year, we watched the first 12 episodes of the Sword Art Online anime, and I really hated it. It was so awful. I slugged my way through that show. It was so hard to get through. And I got some flack for that. Some people were like, but Sword Art Online is so good. And I was like, is it though?
Here's the thing. Here's what I've come to realize. Most of those people, I don't think they actually think it's good. I think they're getting their objective enjoyment of it confused with their subjective enjoyment. Because, like, there are a lot of anime that I watch, Sword Art Online included, where I'm like, objectively, this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it is enjoyable. Like, I can sit down and enjoy watching it, even though it's just kind of dumb and stupid.
So, I'd like to start out by saying, you lied to me about this anime.
I did not lie to you.
Because when you said, hey, I want to end on the Sword Art Online movie, I said, oh, but I didn't like Sword... And you said, oh, but this one is good. That was a freaking lie. No, it's not. This movie sucks. This movie is awful. I freaking hated this movie. I hated every single second of Sword Art Online. I hate this movie. This movie is awful. I cannot believe you think this is a good movie, unironically. I hated this movie. I hated it. I was watching this, like...
I need to hear some reasons.
I broke the...
I don't know anybody who looks at this movie and says it's objectively bad. It's really good.
Shut. You're joking. Are you joking?
I gave it 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. I don't give out 4.5 stars to nothing. It was so much better than the anime.
This is an elaborate prank.
No.
Nick, this movie's awful.
Come on, you gotta admit, it's at least better than the anime.
Oh, it's better than the anime, but the anime bar, the bar for the show is like on the floor.
Yeah, but this is like if the show is on the floor, the bar for this movie at least hits 5'7". Like it at least hits my height.
So
I need some reasons. I just hear you saying you don't like the movie. I need to hear some reasons.
I split this up into 2 viewing sessions. I watched 45 minutes one day, 45 minutes the second day. When I was watching the second part, when I was watching it the second day, I was just kind of hanging out and I opened the letterbox and I saw that you rated it 4.5 stars and I started laughing. I was like, we are not watching the same movie.
Please tell me. Okay, wait. You watched progressive. You didn't watch like ordinal scale.
No.
Because there are 2 movies on there.
No, I watched the progressive.
Okay.
Whatever the stars in the sky, whatever it's called. I don't know.
Aria of a Starless Night.
Yeah, and it's so bad. It's still, it was so cringy. I could not handle the cringe of this movie.
What?
I wrote down my favorite Kirito quotes with the biting lip emoji next to it because he's such an e-boy in this movie.
No, that's the point though, is instead of being like this cool kid in the anime where he's like, yeah, I'm really cool, like blah blah blah, they actually show him being a kind of like shy and stupid 14-year-old where like he tries to sheath his sword all cool and he misses every single time, and then it's like, yeah, I don't need to put my sword away. He's like, I have this map data or whatever if you want it. Like,
it was so...
You can take as many healing potions as you want. You know,
like, maybe that was the point. But it was so... I couldn't handle it. Like, I'm someone that loves cringe comedy. I was laughing at this movie the entire time. I wrote down... I was like... Some of my notes as I was watching it, I said, OMG, a gamer girl. And then I said, oh, brother, she has a tragic gamer backstory.
I related to that on a personal level. I felt that, where they're like, we don't want to play with you because you're too good at the game. I was like, no, I feel that.
No,
like, you should. People hate how skilled I am.
That's a skill. That's a skill issue. I just need to... This felt like a Disney Channel original movie.
How?
The pacing was really bad. Like, I know, like, it was better than the show, but we got off floor 1 of 100 in the 90 minutes.
That's the point. In 90 minutes of the anime, we're on floor 25. That was your issue, was that it was moving too fast.
No, that's what I'm... Like, so, in the show, it goes at breakneck speed. In this movie, I needed to get to, like, maybe floor 5. I don't know.
No. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the progressive manga, is to go back and actually make a complete story about Sword Art Online. The assumption is that when they clear floor 100, because remember, in the anime, they didn't actually get to floor 100. Right. They got to 75, and then he was like, well, I guess we're done.
Yeah.
And then
Which
they were
was
done.
Stupid.
I think the point here is to get to floor 100, clear the game, and then that's the end of progressive. That's the end of Sword Art Online.
Now, I give a little more grace having the context of this is going to be like 3 movies or however many movies it needs to be.
It should have just been an anime series. They shouldn't have done the movies.
I feel like that's kind of where I'm at, is I'm like, I feel like there was a lot there that just needed one really good season of a show, and then it'd be done. Like, there's a lot there. Like, one of the main characters, he's not... I wrote down... Where did I find it? I gotta find it. He didn't come in until an hour into the movie. There was
Kirito?
30 minutes left before Kirito was there.
It's because he's not the main character anymore.
I was so, like...
Asuna's the main character.
I was so
That's the
thrown
whole
off
point.
by that. And then, like, he just kind of shows up, and then he's like, hey, baby girl, want to join my party? Like, what the heck? Do you want to...
He works better. He works better as a side character than a main character.
Do you want to come take a bath at my house? Like, He's like, I don't want a member of my party dying on me. Like, I can't, like, ooh... He said, my favorite quote, Kirito quote of all time. I had to pause it. I was laughing so hard. I said, when someone, I can't say it, when someone's just kicking back and being normal, that's how you can tell who they really are on the inside. That's what I think. And I was like, does that not give you like a Radio Rebel vibe? Isn't that not like a line from Camp Rock?
No, because he's a 14-year-old kid trying to act cool for this girl he thinks is cute. Come on.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
Are you telling me that at age 14 you never did that for a girl you thought was cute?
No, I mean, I did.
Exactly. That's the point. It's supposed to be cringe.
I wrote down near the end, I said, brand new zombie podcast just dropped. I died of cringe. he's just such an e-boy. And okay, here's the thing. I get it. I get that it's the point, but I don't like it. Like, I know that's the point. It was intentional. Just because it was intentional doesn't mean I like it. I don't like it. It hurts to watch. It's not enjoyable. Granted, it was enjoyable in the sense of I thought it was really funny, but it also wasn't supposed to be funny.
Have you put your Letterboxd review up yet?
No, not yet. I was waiting to talk about it here. I'm probably going to say 2 stars out of 5.
What?
I just can't. And I just can't. I need you to defend this a little bit for me because I felt like there was not really a redeeming factor for this movie.
Hit me with some points to defend. I work best when prompted.
Okay. I feel like Kirito had like no character in this. In like compared to the show, I felt like he was actually really deep. And in the movie he wasn't.
Okay. So I'm going to say 1, he's on screen for 45 minutes. That's not enough. Here's the thing. He has more character in the second movie because he has more screen time in the second movie. Yeah. And like he's allowed to flourish. He kind of came in towards the end here. So your initial impression is kind of that same. And I feel like having the context of the anime is a double-edged sword of like you kind of get it. But it feels weird because you're so used to him being the protagonist.
Right.
That you're like, oh, yeah, like, why isn't he here? Whereas it's like the whole point of Progressive is to shift the perspective from him, a like super hardcore beta tester gamer, to Asuna, someone who has no gaming experience whatsoever, and actually building up her character because there's plenty of stuff to work with his character. But, like, it doesn't have to happen right now. Like, he alluded to, oh, something happened to me in the past, which it's never really said yet whether or not it's the same as the anime where, like, that entire party he was with died because he was over-leveled. Or if it's something like he had a close friend who was also in the game who died because he says it was similar to yours. So we don't really know what he's referring to. But there were hints of character there. And like you could see at the end when they're like, you're just a stupid little cheater because you didn't say the thing.
Listen here, you beater.
Listen here, like, you beater with a hard R.
That's so funny. Saying he's a beta testing cheater. That was still funny. He's like, beater? Is that all you got? And I was like, tell it to him, Kirito. Like, demolish
that was
them.
The best part is you could see as that like insecure 14-year-old, instead of lashing out at them, he just kind of acted the part and was like, yeah, so what? You guys suck. What a bunch of losers. L plus ratio plus I'm cool, puts on the black cape and walks out. And he's like, yeah, you can follow me, but you guys suck.
I will
just
say,
don't lump me in with those goobers.
That was, I did like that part. I thought that was a good character moment for him because it felt like it justified him being cringe a little bit because it was like, oh, it was like an act. Like he's actually
like
super
it's his
cool.
Persona.
Like he's actually super cool. He just doesn't want to lead that on because then no one will like him.
Right, like he acknowledges that you can't be that way 24/7 because nobody will like you.
Right.
Because then when he walks past Asuna, he like looks at her and smiles and then walks away.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, well, I'm going to go with him, which is another big departure from the anime where they had that boss fight and then it got separated for like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And
which was like, really bad. That was really bad.
So now it's like, oh, they're together. They're exploring. They're building that relationship. And then when you do get to the romantic stuff, it's going to feel more earned than it did in the anime.
Is the romantic stuff in the second movie?
A little bit, but not like... It would really culminate in a third movie.
I think that their relationship was my favorite part of the show. And so
me too.
Like it gets a little weird when they're like, "Oh, we have a child." And it's like, "Okay, I didn't need that." Like some randomly AI kid here, but you know, I felt like what was the purple hair girl's name? The
Mito?
Mito.
Her friend?
her friend. I feel like there was a lot. They like worked really hard to build them up at the beginning, and then we're like, all right, we're done with her. Let's move on to the guy. And I was like, wait, I liked her. What happened? Like,
Okay,
why can't she join them?
I will give you that one. I'm frustrated about that too.
Yeah.
Because it would have been such an interesting dynamic to kind of have this. And I think they're trying to get back to that.
Yeah.
Because in the second movie, it's very much like Asuna and Kirito. And then Mito comes back for a little bit. And then they're in the same triangle place for a little bit. And it's like this weird, like, he's my friend and you're my friend. And now you guys are mutual friends through me.
But I like him.
But I think it would have been more interesting because she had the opportunity at the end there to walk with Asuna, and they could have all three gone.
Right.
So I get it. I never understood, like, okay, this was the weakest part of the movie for me, where she was like, oh no, my friend's going to die. Sorry, I'm leaving the party.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, sorry, I'm dipping out. And
that
I'm like,
was
but now you never
cringe.
know. Like, now you live in the agony of never knowing if she's actually dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't like that, and I felt like I didn't really understand like why it was so tragic for her, where she was like, oh, my friend abandoned me here, which I was kind of confused.
But
I was
then
like,
never thought to like reach out and say,
Right.
hey,
I was
do
like,
you want to like meet up and maybe talk about this?
but then they like met up at the boss fight and essentially defeated the boss with the power of friendship.
Absolutely.
And like instantly knew that she was pulling out the weapon that she went and for that, like she like goes off for this woodland creature and like abandons Asuna to like get this rare weapon, and then she pulls out said rare weapon and she's like, that's the weapon that she used from the thing. And I was like, what? Oh, everyone knows the most important film rule, which is tell, don't show. And so I was just kind of like,
well, they did both.
What is this?
You
I'm like,
saw
what
her
am
defeat
I
the monster
watching?
and get the item, so you knew she had it.
I was just...
So then when she pulls it out, it's also like, why would she have a random rapier? She doesn't use a rapier. She uses a scythe. So it's like, I get it.
Yeah. It felt a lot like one of the Maze Runner movies. It felt a lot like the first Maze Runner movie to me. It was very much like, oh no, we're stuck here. This band of misfits has to get out of this game. Tune in Friday at 8 Central on Disney Channel. And it's like, I don't enjoy this at all.
Hit me with another thing to defend. Give me another thing to defend. Because I don't understand how you watch this movie and gave it 2 stars.
The animation wasn't anything special to me. It was okay. It was okay.
What? Huh? We did not watch the same movie.
Away. I wasn't like blown
We did not watch the
away.
same movie.
It was okay. It was good.
Okay. I've spoiled you with Demon Slayer.
It felt like anime.mp4. Like it was like,
what does that mean? What explain to me. What does anime.mp4 mean? What is like
it felt
what
like,
does that mean?
It felt like someone that was scared to make it too anime-esque tried to make an anime. Or like someone that was like trying to remember what anime looked like from memory. Like it was just like just the whole design in general like was kind of it was just
what?
It wasn't special. There was
They
nothing.
followed the design given in the manga? Like they
Well, it was
adapted
just-
what was given to them?
I don't know. It was just kind of. It didn't stand out to me. I wasn't like blown away feeling like the animation was incredible, except at the end. The only time that I felt like it really got really good was the fight stuff. Where it was like, wow, okay, cool, like nice fight sequences. But I felt like the world itself, they were like, had this infinite possibility to create this incredible fantasy world. And it was okay. It's not the...
Everything you're talking about gets fixed in the second movie. That's the sad part. And the second movie isn't on Crunchyroll. So when it's on Crunchyroll, we're gonna have to go back.
We're gonna have to watch
and watch
it.
the second one.
I said Internet Safety 101. Don't use your real name. I thought that was funny. I was like, good stuff. Good stuff.
Because that's something someone who's never played video games before would do.
Right. They would just put their name in and be like, yeah, I just used a picture of me. Like, what's the problem? And she's like, no, don't do that. Are you crazy? So that was good. Why? So at the end, the like leader of that one party, whatever, he died, and they were super mad because they were like, hey, you had this information, you could have told him and he would have been alive. Why didn't that guy take the healing potion at the end?
It's the same problem as the anime. It's so dumb.
Why?
I was watching it and I was like, oh, I thought he died because I thought they fixed it where it was like he died before Kirito got there.
Right.
So it was like,
no,
he didn't have an opportunity to take it. He was there and was like, no, don't.
He was like, no.
I'm gonna die.
He was like, this is up to you now. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be if you take the freaking potion.
Yeah,
like,
take the
what?
healing potion,
So they're like, oh my gosh, this is Kirito's fault. And I'm like, no, the guy was offered the healing potion.
And he didn't take it.
And he didn't take it.
That's dumb.
That is dumb. I'm sorry.
But also,
that's dumb.
That one guy gets really upset about the stupidest things. He's like, if you knew, and at least in the anime, I don't think they did this in the movie. In the anime, the excuse that Kirito didn't know was because the boss had a different weapon for the final phase.
Right.
And it was like, oh, this wasn't in the beta test. Whereas in the movie, it was like, oh, this was in the beta test. We just didn't expect him to use it. Because he says later on, like, oh, that was an attack from a monster on, like, floor 10.
Yeah.
So that wasn't supposed to be down here.
So I have another question. At the very end of the movie, this chick like peeks through the door and she's like, oh, it looks like the two best players in the game just teamed up. This could be interesting. And then like slides away like a villain. And I'm like, who the heck was that? Who was that?
Second movie. That's your tease for the second movie. Because that character is in the second movie.
That's a really terrible tease. I wasn't left that tease thinking, wow, I got to find out who that is. I was thinking, who the crap was that? Like, what? It literally, the credits ended and I said, huh?
I'm pretty sure she's an information broker in the second movie. And she gathers information and then sells it to people.
Okay.
And that's how she makes a living. But she's also a really skilled fighter. The second movie is better. I don't know what to say.
I think positives. I really liked Asuna in this one. I thought she was a great I think she works better as a main character.
Right.
I really liked the pipeline of like overworked, like straight A student plays a video game for the first time in her life. That was entertaining. It made for an interesting story because when Kirito's the main character, he's very like, he's too good, you know? Like the point of him is that he's the best one there. So when your main character is perfect, it's not near as interesting. So I think that was a good move to make her the main character. I just think that I really liked the dynamic of her and her friend a lot better than her and Kirito in this one. But this, I don't know what else to tell you, and I'm really sorry.
We didn't watch the same movie.
I wanted to enjoy this so much.
Let me ask you this. Did you like it better or worse? Do you think it's better or worse than the anime?
I think it's better than the anime because the show drags like nobody's business. Like the show is someone that doesn't know how to drive stick. It goes really fast for like 2 seconds and then hard brakes, and then goes really fast for 2 seconds and then hard brakes. And so it's like the pacing is kind of jarring on the show, and they just don't know what to focus on, and they kind of like the show I think is worse than this movie, but I don't think this movie is good. I would not watch this intentionally or again. I probably would have turned it off partway through if I was just watching this.
Is this the most we've ever disagreed on a movie?
I think this has got to be, next to like No Way Home, this has got to be the most we've ever disagreed on a movie.
This is the first. Would you say this is the first time? I think this is the first time on Anime Adventure we've disagreed about what you've watched.
I can agree. I think that's true.
Because we agreed, obviously, on Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer's peak.
We agreed on Sword Art Online, Spy Family, Love is War.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've disagreed on what I've showed you.
Not only that, but disagree so intensely. Like
now I'm kind of worried about I don't know. I'm a little worried about the next one.
I don't know if this is just I'm out of the loop. I don't know if this is like I give it a little more grace knowing the context of there is another movie, this and that, but I felt like I had watched 90 minutes of the Sword Art Online show, and this felt like they managed to put like 3 episodes worth of content in a 90-minute movie.
Yeah, that checks out. Every episode's about a half hour.
It's a better intro to the story than the show gave. But also the point of a movie isn't to intro a show. It's supposed to be a movie. I was like, what?
It was a movie. What are you talking about? It's not. You have to entirely disconnect it from the show because it's not continuing the show in any way, shape, or form.
If I entirely disconnect it from the show, I think it's worse because I don't have the comparison of at least it's better than the show. I cannot find like a good thing that I like about the movie.
I mean, you said you liked the music.
I liked the music.
Hold on. I want to go back to this like anime.mp4 animation not looking great. How? Where do you get that from?
Give me an example.
I don't get it. Like
what? Tell me why you think it's great.
I think it's very vibrant and colorful, and it shows this fantasy video game in a way that looks so much better than it did in the anime. Because in the anime, now granted, anime came out in 2012, so it's been 9 years, and animation has improved even for the main series. But doing stuff like giving the weapons colors when they attack, and all of the attacks have different colors. That was something they didn't work in until season 3. And even then, they weren't actually in SAO. They were in something completely different. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff I wanted from SAO, was this like, it looks so nice. I'll admit, there's parts of the animation where you can tell they didn't put as much time into certain parts because that's just kind of how animation works. You want one scene to look good, you're going to put all your time and effort and budget into that scene. And that's what they did for the boss fight at the end.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the other stuff didn't look good. I think overall, the animation looks good. I think you've just been spoiled by Demon Slayer and Love is War and Spy Family.
What I'll say is I don't think it looks bad. There wasn't a part. I've seen shows and movies where like the animation looks bad. And this is not one of those movies. The animation is pretty and they did a good job with what it is, but I'm not going to brag about the animation. I don't think it's not the best I've seen, you know.
Well, no, it's not like Demon Slayer level, but
right. It was okay. The animation was not special to me. It didn't stand out. Like they didn't do anything that made me say, "Oh, that was really cool."
I don't understand. We did not watch the same movie.
Are we
There's
canceling
no way.
Jackson's anime adventure after this?
Yeah, we're actually never watching anime again. Because you said dumb stuff, so you're not allowed to watch anime anymore. I'm just gonna start gatekeeping anime. You're not allowed to watch it anymore.
You've lost your anime privileges.
You've lost your anime card. You don't. I don't get it.
You see, I
Could
also
you imagine?
don't get it.
See, here's the thing. We disagree, but I'm also ultimately I'm not offended because this isn't
Right.
my favorite anime ever. If you said this about My Hero, we'd be having a conversation. Because I'm like, whoa. Objectively, it's good. But
I'm trying to go through the
what's a Letterboxd
the Letterboxd reviews. Letterboxd says 3.3 stars overall.
Yeah, I'm definitely pulling up the average.
I'm trying to find some reviews that are appropriate.
Are some of them not?
Oh no. This one says Spy Kids 3. Yeah.
I looked at the first one.
Yeah. So
I get it.
Yeah. This one says Spy Kids 3 is shorter and has an ending. So, dang. That's funny. Wait. Okay. This person gave 5 stars.
Can I filter it by reviews?
2.5 stars. This person says
lowest first. There we go.
This 1 star says honestly embarrassing. That's really funny.
Funny how the author has never played an MMORPG and thought it would be a great idea to write a story about people playing an MMORPG not once but twice.
I really like.
That's good.
This one is so funny because it's half a star, and it says, "Personally, if I was trapped in an MMO for years on end, I would just hang out and run a tavern or something."
I saw that. Okay, here I want to address this one.
That's pretty based.
How do you mess up Asuna's characterization this badly? Why does everything about her involve Mito? Her inclusion in Asuna's story takes away everything that made Asuna compelling in progressive. Okay. I would say let's back up here. Asuna, are you guys say gamer girl boss? By the way, more like gamer girl failure, because she's never played a video game ever, especially one that is like a VR, full dive. Of course, everything's gonna revolve around. I want the person who wrote that comment to tell me that you've never gone to a social event and clung to the one friend that you have. Everyone's done it. Everyone's had that one event where they're like, yeah, I'm here, but I'm only going to hang out with this person because I don't know anybody else here. That's what Asuna did. She hung out with the one person she knew who was skilled, who kept her from dying multiple times, who was also trying to make her be independent. Oh How do you mischaracterize? Oh my, I
really love this. It's 3 stars. It says, I mean, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It's just 3 stars. I mean, yeah. Let's see.
Everyone's saying it's recycled from season 1.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's the point.
I'm not gonna give it that criticism because that's literally the point. That's
literally the point of progressive is to go back because you guys won't shut up about how bad the pacing was and how you wish. Oh, I wish I stayed in Aincrad longer. Okay. That's what progressive is.
I'd like to point out this 2-star review that I will quote word for word. This is not me. This is a review on Letterboxd. 2 stars. Soft reboot of the franchise that does little to deepen its characters and features some of the most blindingly ugly background work I've seen in a theatrical anime. Granted, theatrically or blindingly ugly is an overstatement. That's too much. But do you see the point? Do you see the general thoughts.
Read it again.
It says, let me pull it up again. Soft reboot of the franchise, does little to deepen its characters, and features some of the most blindingly ugly background work I've seen in a theatrical anime. Blindingly ugly is too intense, because it's not ugly. It's just not super
ugly,
special.
I almost wonder if that came down to a budget thing. Because
It
you look at
might.
something like Demon Slayer, that movie was gorgeous.
Oh,
in
absolutely.
every aspect, but the series is gorgeous. And I wonder if
Yeah.
it's more of a series standard than a theatrical release.
Yeah.
Because if you hold this movie, if you take the movie and you hold it a little closer to the series, they don't look that different.
Right.
So it's more of like they took the TV team and said, hey, work on this 1.5 hour long episode of Sword Art Online. And then make another 1.5 hour long episode of Sword Art Online. That's what they did.
That's where I get the TV movie vibe from. It doesn't look like a movie. It looks like an episode of the show. That's really where I'm pulling from.
I can almost guarantee you, because this came out in 2021. Or no, did it come out in 2020 in Japan?
Maybe.
I think it came out in 21. I guarantee you they started working on this movie. No, it came out in 2021. I guarantee you they started working on this as an anime and then saw how much money the Demon Slayer movie made and reformatted it to be a movie.
I could
Because the Demon
wholeheartedly
Slayer movie
see that.
came out in 2020, mid-pandemic, by the way, and broke a ton of records for the Japanese box office. And then
That
it
makes
came here
sense.
in 21, broke a ton of anime movie records in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So I guarantee you they saw
It's a capitalized.
how successful that was and was like, Sword Art Online's pretty popular too.
Yeah.
We should make it a movie.
You know, I would like to watch the second one. I need to see where it goes.
It's not on
Before I
Crunchyroll
can-
yet, but you can buy the DVD.
Do you own the DVD?
Not yet. I'm
you
waiting
can-
till after Christmas because I put it on my Christmas list, so I'm waiting to see if
Oh.
anybody buys it.
I'll come over and watch it with you.
Okay.
But I'm not paying for it.
I want to rewatch it. I don't know why it's not on Crunchyroll yet. I figured they would have put it up.
I don't
by
know how I
now.
feel about that. Yeah, that's that about that. Unless you have anything else
Oh
to
my
say.
God.
I'd like to apologize because I wanted to enjoy this so much. I just didn't. Like, there was not
whatever.
really a redeeming factor. He said, whatever. He said, shut up. So, I tried. I tried, guys. This one wasn't for me, and I'm sorry if you really liked it. It's okay if you really liked it. It just really wasn't for me, and I'm sorry. I really, really tried. That was that about that.
Okay.
Do you have
So,
other shows for next
moving
time?
on from that.
I'm sorry
Moving
to
on
break
from
your
that
heart.
Disaster.
I didn't mean to break your heart. It just
I'm just not
I'm
going to
sorry.
comment on that. Okay. So, if you've been with us for a while with Jackson's Anime Adventure, you'll know that normally I will say, hey, here's the next 3 shows. Go vote on the poll. You guys get to decide. Well, sorry. I'm taking that privilege away from you. One, because you guys have been picking really bad anime. Except for when you did. Because you guys picked Demon Slayer. That was a good choice. You guys picked... Well, I guess all of the ones you guys have picked have been good, but they're not the ones I want. So, we're going to be changing it a little bit.
I love how
Because
you're
this
like,
is
you chose bad things.
Jackson's.
Just kidding.
Except for when
you
you
chose
didn't.
good things. It's just
This
not what I
is
want.
Jackson's Anime Adventure. So I'm going to put the power in his hands to decide what he wants
Okay.
to watch. But there's a twist. The twist is I have 3 shows picked out. And the format I'm going to go with from now on is 2 new shows or the opportunity to revisit one we've already watched. But
Okay.
the twist is I'm going to describe the shows very poorly. So he has to go off of my very poorly described synopsis to decide which one he wants to watch
Okay.
instead of saying, hey, here's this one. Because I've talked to him about some of these shows before. And he may know how I feel about it just based off of what we've conversed. And he may not pick it or he
Right.
may pick it. and I'm trying to take that out. So, for this choice, which this will be a next year episode.
Hit me with it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So your first choice. Let me think. How do I want to... I was supposed to write these down ahead of time and think of like really good, creative things, and I will do that next time, but I kind of have a general idea. Okay. So your first option, and this is... So I'm going to do 2 new ones first, and then the revisit. But you already know what the revisit is.
Yeah.
So we can watch a Muggle sneaks into Hogwarts by being a gym bro.
Okay. That sounds good.
Or we can watch an anime that gets really deep and philosophical about the entertainment industry and how dark it actually is.
Oh.
Or
okay. Hold on.
Your revisit option is to go take out... I don't know. Can I say that on the podcast? I don't know if that's a podcast appropriate word.
I would say don't.
We're going to go fight some bad people with the power of base boosting.
Oh.
Actually, that is pretty accurate.
With the power
well,
of
okay,
base
that's a double whammy because it's we're going to take out some bad people with the powers of base boosting, and then after that we're going to also take out bad people with the power of being really hot.
Okay. I've done that before, so that would hit close to home. Let me think. See, here's the thing. I'm very excited about all 3 of these. Yeah.
Because they're all really good. And if the audience can figure it out, bonus points for you.
Yeah.
I'll reveal them all at the end. But I want him to pick first. So for a refresher, a Muggle sneaks into Hogwarts by being a gym bro.
Okay.
A really dark and philosophical look at the entertainment industry.
Okay.
Or taking out bad guys with the powers of base boosting and being really hot. Those are your 3 options. And the best part is I made him choose on the episode so he doesn't overthink it, which is exactly what he's doing right now.
Yeah. I'm really intrigued. Give me the Muggle going into Hogwarts by being a gym bro.
Muggle going into Hogwarts being a gym bro.
Give me that one.
So, you chose Mashal, Magic and Muscles.
Let's go.
Which, honestly, very close to being one of my top 10 anime.
Oh.
It's only
Okay.
Only 12 episodes.
Okay.
So it's pretty short, easy binge on Crunchyroll. The 2 options that you did not pick was Oshinoko, which was the dark look into the entertainment industry.
Yes.
Don't worry, guys. That one will be back. I'm going to make him watch it at some point. I will probably pair it up against a double Sword Art Online, so he has to. You also, your rewatch, you skipped the opportunity to watch season 2 and 3 of Demon Slayer.
Dang.
So you could have done Demon Slayer,
okay.
but honestly,
That's
I'm proud
okay.
of you for choosing something new.
Thank
because
you.
It's so easy to choose something you know as opposed to something new. So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you
for choosing something new.
I was really banking on going for Demon Slayer, but the Muggle really sold me. I really want to see the Gym Bro. I need to see the Gym Bro Muggle.
It's such a funny show.
I gotta see that. That's good content.
If you don't like that one, I'm sorry. We're canceling Anime Adventure.
It sounds
You're
like
never allowed to watch anime again.
Sounds like I would like it. Sounds like
Jason, I'm not trying to influence your opinion or anything.
Dang. All right. Well, unless you have anything else, we would like to thank you for listening.
Whoa. Can we comment?
Whoa.
Aside from the Wish review, this is the first time we've gotten under an hour and a half.
That's crazy.
Usually we're like 2 hours plus.
Yeah,
Here we're like,
whoa.
I don't know, hour and a half.
We also have something else to record today, so
we also have to go record an after show.
Yeah, so we're gonna cut it off here. But thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Nerdiest podcast. I hope you got something out of it. Hopefully it was positive. We will see. Tune in next time, where we will have a very special episode. We're doing something very special next week that I cannot wait to share. So, Everyone, have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you would like to stay up to date on the podcast, make sure you subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen to podcasts, or you can subscribe on YouTube where you can watch full episodes and also watch clips of episodes if you don't have a full 2 hours to listen to a whole episode. Crazy, right? You can also follow us on Instagram to know when new episodes come out. And also, if you really like the show, you can be a Spotify subscriber or a Patreon. For only $3 a month, you get all access to our entire library of the Nerdiest after show. So thank you so much to our Patreon Bearded Mana and our 2 new Spotify subscribers. Now, if you are one of our Spotify subscribers, please send an email or an Instagram DM or something. We'd love to be able to thank you personally on the show. And so if you're a Spotify subscriber, we don't get to see who it is from Spotify. So we'd love to know who you are so we can thank you personally. But deep in our heart, thank you very much for being subscribers. This has been the Nerdiest Podcast, Jackson's Anime Adventure. We might come back depending on if I have good opinions on stuff in the future.
Yeah,
we'll
if you
see.
have bad opinions multiple times in a row, it's over.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But thank you for listening to this episode. We will see you next time. Until then, bye.